show. Today, it's kind of cool because we don't have that many today. And what's cool about that is the last couple weeks I've just felt like, man, there's so many I didn't have time to go through each, profile individually, kind of spend some time on the games. So I'm hoping we'll just relax. Just relax, Jesse. Have a good show, buddy. All right. So now DBL Click, dude. Now this thing, maybe, I don't know, I can't tell if this is sarcastic or not, but a little self-hate here. Let's just click around and see what's going on. Because DBL Click apparently has already graduated a bunch of times. Perhaps he's ungraduated himself. It looks like he's ungraduated. It looks like this dude has just been like, oh man. Yeah. So really, who knows? Who knows where DBL Click should be? DBL Click certainly doesn't know, dude. Is DBL Click working on it? Yeah, he's working on it. But see, DBL Click was already like up there, and then he's like, I had some bad tournament. I feel terrible about myself now. I'll tell you guys a story. I met this cool guy, Jerry McDonald. I believe that's his name, at the Charlotte Open. And a bunch of people from the dojo were there. Several of them had great tournaments. Jerry, dude, didn't go well. And so he actually, like, cut his dojo. And he was like, dude, it's not, what'd he say? He's like, I trust the program, I just don't trust myself, is what he told us when he quit. And we were like, oh, Jerry. But he was back the next day, dude. He was back the next day. Anyways, I don't know what's going on, DBL Click, dude. I don't know. This is an ungraduation. I think DBL Clicks, we've looked at him before, and he's actually up here with 400, 500, somewhere up there. And so he will get himself back. He'll get himself back. All right. Next up, we got, let's call him FD. And I kind of remember FD from an earlier graduation. Coming up to 6. Well, that's a beautiful chart right there. And no, they haven't done anything. FD. No. FD, buddy. Buddy. Basically, FD just joined. FD just joined. Okay, so we'll leave it there. Next up, we have BM Chess. All right. This looks like a significant graduation. Here we come. I've had a great time in the dojo so far. I've been playing now for about 2 years, but after playing my first OTB, I decided I needed some structure to my training if I really wanted to improve. The dojo has definitely provided that structure. Okay. I have really enjoyed the analysis and longer time controls so far, even though it is hard work. I saw Jesse's stream this morning where he reviewed one of my games and decided to go ahead and graduate based on my USCF instead of ChessCom, as Jesse suggested. Right, we did like a best of the cohort show. I actually had to cut it short because my mouth was all irritated. I was close on ChessCom a couple weeks back, but went on a bit of a bender trying to get the last 15 points, and it cost me 60. Anyways, I'm loving my time in the dojo so far. Looking forward to more growth. Now, what will be cool about BM Chess is what I remember is that in the opening he played, let's call them unprincipled moves. And I think my message really in this under 1,000 cohort is always really the same. And we're writing this book, How to Analyze Your Games, and I really press the message there too, is under 1,000, your games will be decided by people hanging stuff. That is where it will be decided. But it's still a good place for you to learn principled moves, especially in the opening. And that will carry over, and it'll just be a good habit going forward. And yes, it'll help you a little bit competitively. But again, where it really will be decided, and we see this again and again, is someone blunders something. Okay, here we go. BM 742 USCF. Nice. And this might be a provisional, so, by the way, it used to be, 742 used to be like a low rating, and now it's like, it's kind of like you're already kind of an experienced player at 742, man. Okay, here we go. Activity. We're going to back it up one. PM Chess did some great work. Beautiful. Let's click around a little bit. Nice. What book did they do? Uh-huh. Oh, this is great, man. Great. Okay. And then, oh, whole mix. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that looks good. Let's check out a game from BM. And that was the game we looked at, I believe it was yesterday. Let's look at a different one. Okay. Now, by the way, this is great notes. So, yes, you want to take back with the pawn because it fixes your knight. And once you say that to yourself, you can kind of also see that, like, oh, the whole problem of the Caro-Kann is the knight will be a bad piece, right? Okay, so now you know. You don't need to learn a bunch of theory. Just understanding that right there is worth the price of admission. Okay, so your opponents will do this thing where they refuse. They're going to move and develop piece twice. Bishop f5 is okay. I think knight c6, I like it. Thank you very much for the free piece. Yeah, you could have also played bishop g6. Oh, that's a good move. Good move. A little frisky. Now, I think it's fine to take that thing. You know, you're up so much material, I don't know if you need to, but okay. Right, because now you have you kind of at least have a problem to solve. Yeah, so this actually, I don't want to discourage you too much, but there's no need to take the pawn. And by him playing d3, it's a good move because then you at least have some problems to solve. If you just develop your knight, you have no problems to solve, you know? Okay. Good, your notes are good. Good move. There we go, boss. Check to the miserable. Bloom. Ooh, queen f3. Nice move by your opponent. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, this is spicy. Very spicy. Check to the miserable king. Okay, so one thing I want to say is tactics are going to be in your games. And what this guy does with queen f7 is a mistake because then there's two problems to solve. One and two. At the moment, he only has one to solve. So what was his correct move? Rook d1. Right? So this is an example of somebody who's like, oh, maybe they'll be made after this or something. Right? Now, next point is that we should go to h8 because at least here he can come back with check. And you know, maybe he's still toast after g5. Okay, yeah. Either, I guess both of them work. But the point is to say in the annotations that this move, queen f7, is a question mark. Okay. Good. So let's see how it went. Good move. Good. Oh, well, that's it right there, buddy. Okay. Well, there you go, BM. Yeah. And one thing, we'll just say it again. On your path here, we talked about you not giving away time. Your opponents will be giving away time, such as knight e5, and then they will be giving away pieces like this, right? And he did find one good move. So, you know, we're coming up the ladder a little bit, and that good move was queen f3. And actually, he played two good moves. He played d3 right here, at least messing with your bishop. And then also, he found queen f3 check over here. Good move. So, you know, he's hanging some stuff, but it's also not a complete chump over here. All right. BM Chess, congratulations now. Boom. And here's our graduates. Heir apparent, dude. Heir apparent. Well, I'm definitely following heir apparent. Okay. This is heir apparent, dude. And heir apparent. Well, they've done pretty good progress here. That's a pretty nice line. That was how they got here. Okay. And the time, it's clearly they weren't marking the time. That's okay. But they were doing a lot of tactics. Really nice. Yeah. I said it yesterday. I met this guy, the famous Giannatos, who wrote everyone's first chess workbook. He's the head honcho in Charlotte. Okay, click this one. Okay, good. That looks good. Let's see if she's got some games. Boom. So. Right. Now, h6, you know, driven out of fear about bishop g5, but not really necessary, right? h3, similar complaints. Similar complaints, moving develop piece twice. And then I think you're doing a great note here. By putting my bishop on this square, I then have to worry about getting forked by a pawn on d4. But likewise, you're developing a piece, and maybe black has to worry about some kind of bishop takes d4. So c6. Now, I want to say about c6 is that one, in some ways, gets a pass in terms of loss of time. By the way, it's just very simple. You need time to bring your people out. So pawn moves are only there to get your people out. You need 2 pawn moves minimum. A pawn move like c6, though, is excusable in the sense that you are at least taking away the squares, on this knight here. These two. Not sure I get it. I definitely don't get it. Oh, you get it. They're trying to trap the bishop, Mouse. They're trying to trap the bishop. Okay. Now, knight a4 is a poor move. And we saw a similar thing yesterday in the cohort, top of the cohort show. Because what black should do is move the bishop back. And now I think you're actually going to lose a piece. Because this is too problematic. Yeah, I don't see an easy way out. Right? So in this position, you need to do something, one of these moves. Right? Okay, so again, it's really important at this level to focus on the tactics, because that's what's going to drive your rating up. And what I mean by tactics is, I mean, yes, you can do a bunch of puzzles and stuff, but in your own games, identifying where somebody hung something. So here, for example, knight a4, you're hanging a piece. And then that's also a blunder. Thank you very much. And now you go loco. And you play, well, maybe you gotta go loco. Kraai. Maybe she's gotta go loco. Maybe it's not so bad to go loco. Okay, so she goes loco. Okay, so you got 2 pawns, a nice knight. Kick him around. So I want to take something back that I said. I said that b5 was a mistake and bishop a7 was better. In fact, they're both completely winning. b5, bishop a7 is better because you're going to lose less pawns. But it's totally true that, of course, black is already winning this too. But black in this position will have to show some technique. All right. And right, we're leaving the d pawn. I want to stress that a move that places a little bit of pressure on black would be f4, intending kicking this knight and then winning this pawn. It's a huge pawn to lose. Imagine it, you got two pawns and you're trying to hold this game together, right? We don't want to give any of them up. And then again, the pawn's still hanging. Good note. Queen e4, good move by your opponent. And now you only have one pawn for your trouble. Now, something I want to stress about this level is this kind of scenario might seem boring to some grandmasterly dude. This might seem boring, but I know from experience that there's still a lot of technique that is going to have to be applied here. Mistakes will probably still be made. And the way I really think most people should try to get to 1,000 is win something, trade it all off, and then promote a pawn and win the endgame. Methodical, like a tax collector. Don't even try to mate them right away. Just take all their stuff. Once you win something, then you start trading stuff off. You don't have to be fancy, right? Hi, Abdul. Check the miserable king. Good move. Good move. Good move. Fine, okay. And now we blundered again this. So when we make a mistake in the analysis, we want to say what we should have done. We also want to say that in this position, you're doing great and that your opponent is missing that f3 is a mistake. If you win the c5 pawn, well then hallelujah. So black needs to do something now to not hang that pawn, and probably in your notes you should, say what you think that thing is. Maybe c4, for example. All right, so knight d6 is a mistake, and a key note would be bishop c5. And then you'd have to understand that after rook e5, you could play knight d6, right? And then actually the variation probably just goes on now, actually bishop f3. Desperado. And I promise I won't sing it to you, People don't like it when I sing Desperado to them. I understand, But sometimes it comes out. I'm really trying. I'm just pushing it back. Just pushing it back, Desperado. Ah, see? You let it out. You let it out, heir apparent. We're going back. Knight d6. They miss it. Give me that pawn. Boom. Boom. Yeah, that's a good move. You could also just park the bishop with the thought that, hey, that knight is octopus. It means it's not going anywhere. And then what that will allow us to do is to move the rook later. That's inexplicable to me. Why isn't he playing rook d7, Bows? He's got to do that. Got to do that. So he's just hanging it. Just nobody knows. Well, why don't we take the pawn? Take it. All right, so now we have a messy position. And it's not super easy to evaluate. But your opponent very much helps you by, let's call it, hanging another pawn. Good. And now we need to make some progress. This is where endgame studies are a little fun and interesting. Um, so, well, in any case, endgame study or not, Kraai, we need to move the knight in here to start threatening some stuff, right? This move, I don't understand. By the way, what should our goal here be? Our goal here, this is very important, is to push the c pawn, right? Now, what we'd like to do is to get this rook behind the pawn and then push the baby. Now, this is a very technical position. I would say, for GMs and stuff, not necessarily the easiest thing to win. But the goal should be that we get the rook and the king to be the shepherd of our pass pawn. So potential variation might be rook d2, happy for a trade. If he lets us come in, we will. So what should they do? Check to the miserable king. Exclam. Okay. See? So he's blocked. Okay, but we go here. Bang. Okay, we're popping the rook. The rook wants to stay behind the c pawn. Bang. King here. What is white trying to do? White is saying, I want to go here, and I want to go here, and I want to push, baby, push, baby, push. Okay, notice too that a way to think about the endgame is think about it like an attack. So white has more force when it comes to the promotion of the pawns than black does. Black's knight is waylaid, as is the king. Do you like the use of the word waylaid? All right, here we go. Okay, 6. Erwin. Hello, buddy. Boom. 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 Now it should be, if we were playing like GM level chess, this would now be a draw. Uh-oh. Now we're losing. Again, put that in your notes. Put it in your notes. That's where the game was decided, right there. Ah, we got him back, baby. Got him. Ooh, now we're toast again. This is one of the fundamental pawn endgames that we practice in the algorithms. So this is important to know that it's just lost. Black doesn't understand it, though, it looks like. And no. So this is a very important pawn endgame to know cold. And the correct move here after king f3 is king h4. It is still possible to win this as black here, but you must play king g5 Zugzwang. Must. Right? Here, 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 here. Boom, boom, boom. Move, baby. I don't know where they want to go. Bang, 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 bang. Very important pawn endgame to know. Really something you should know cold. Well, so you're a little higher rated, cold, but this one to know cold where you, okay. When I say you know cold, but like be able to do it in under 20 seconds. Bam, 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 bam. But at this level, just to learn it well, because neither you nor your opponent appreciated this, and this is where the game is turning. So now you play king f3, and it's drawn. Let's go through that. And the only move black has is pop. Oh no, stalemate, baby. All right. King h1. Bummer. Bummer. I'm checking the technique because sometimes people blow it here. No, I got it. Okay. So, heir apparent. Looking forward to seeing your next graduation. That was really cool. And again, a lot of good work being done here, mostly tactics. Yeah. So actually, one of the things I like about that game is in the under 1,000, we don't often see games that are decided by one of the end game algorithms. I know we have a couple, but that was clearly one that was decided right there. In fact, let's go look at which endgame algorithms. Just, I mean, if you think I would know it, you think I know it cold. So this is the king and pawn versus king. There it is. There it is, my friends. So yeah. This one, though, might be new to her current cohort. So this would be great for her to practice. Really pumped with our algorithms here. You can use the challenge URL and then go play on Lichess, for example. Grab the Fen. You can play it on Chess.com if you want. But we have 3 different situations. It is something you must learn absolutely cold. It will come up in so many different ways. As you saw, there was a transition from a rook endgame. Very common. Okay, let's go back. Newsfeed. All right. So now we got Lucia, who we've seen before. A first book of Morphy took me quite some hours, but I think it was worth it. I notice I'm recognizing these principles in my weekly club games. Not sure if I will stay above the required level, but I'm ready for new study material. Okay, good. Definitely made it up. Beautiful progress. Living in the Nederlanden. Nice. Okay, I want to go back to Holland, dude. That'll be some good times. All right. So we'll go back one. Oh, they did some good work, my friends. They did some really good work. Let's just click around a little bit. They got some maiden twos, 500 of them. Okay. Good. Good. We'll go back. See what they did endgame wise. Okay, good. We got this one. You just clicked that one, buddy. And first book of Morphy and Master Games of Study. Okay. Let's see if we got some games. This is Lutje. I don't know. Lutjek. But that sounds like Eastern European. I got to get a little Dutch in there. All right. Regional League. Okay. We're playing someone higher rated. Fine. You could keep the center fluid. Bishop d3, also possible. Weird. Good move. Looks like they're hanging a pawn. Right, so bishop f5. Looks like it wins a pawn, huh? Okay. So right now we're hanging a pawn. I like that you're persistent. Okay. Okay. Now I want to say that you're making what do they say? You're making lemonade out of lemons. And this is an interesting position you've got. Your opponent is really losing respect for development, of course, when they play bishop f8. But we kind of get it. Yeah, not the easiest choice here for them. Okay, boom. Good. Now, let's talk about knight c5. It's probably reasonable, but notice that what do we want? We want to open the position because we have more development. This move freaks me out. I don't understand that move. Because you didn't want to lose the bishop here. Okay. think a great way to think about a position like this is to say, look, more than anything, I want to keep my edge in development. So what would the two natural moves be? 1, 2. Knight h3 is a little weird, but I would consider it. Okay? But the two natural moves are knight f3 or knight e2. And so what you do by keeping this bishop is you lose time. And the main thing that black is doing is engineering knight f5 to mess with your queen. And your bishop, maybe, you think the bishop pair is a cool thing, but that's pretty abstract, bro, in this position. That's pretty abstract. So let me just stress, I like your compensation in the position after, say, knight e2. Let's put it on f3, buddy. Let's put it on f3. Let's say knight d3, rook d3, knight f5, queen h3. I'm threatening g4. At some point, I might play knight e4 because of this bad pin. This guy doesn't know what it's doing. This guy doesn't know what it's doing. We definitely have compensation. Abdul wanted to yell at me, huh? I had a really interesting game with Sabine. I should have won the game later, but she actually played. I'm going to look at it with the coach and everything in a little while. She played a really interesting. She might have even been theory, but I got to the end. I actually got to the end of theory, Abdul, that we had practiced together, me and you, buddy, right here on the site. And I was like, I felt I knew what the right move was, or the book move. And I was like, this other move, though, man, that looks good. I don't know how anyone's going to deal with that move. And she dealt with it, dude. She dealt with it, man. All right, don't lose time. Now black is pushing you. That's the only good move. And why? And then, by the way, why did this happen? Because you lost time. Now, we definitely want to talk about this. And the reason is, even though it looks like black's pawns are miserable, the key objective for black is to get this bad boy moving, So, pawn schmon, get your boys out. All right, here we go, knight h4. Notice what you saw there from black is somebody who was unwilling to part with, the same way you were unwilling to part with the abstract sense of a bishop pair. Here, there black was like, oh, I don't want to double my pawns, And what did they do? They gave you time. Even this move, he's got to be getting his people out, Good move. A little funky. Good. Poor. Absolutely horrible. Developing your rook. Very important to say. Your rook had no future. Maybe even they were thinking like you, boss. They're like, oh, those bishops. Gotta have them bishop bows. Gotta have them bishop bows. Oh, okay. Boom, boom. This can't be wrong. You could also consider bishop g2. He's definitely... And why is this happening to black? Because they didn't develop their stuff. Good move. Good move. Well, whether he feels or not, he can't castle because he'll take on f7, right? Okay, so now I want to stress something. Something I see, even at a higher level than this, okay? Again, but it's central to all chess improvement, is you get to a position like this, what we often see is people playing with their pretty pieces. So what are the pretty pieces? These are your pretty pieces. The rest of your pieces don't know what they're doing, okay? So, as you develop as a player, in the same way that you become aware of, say, development or time, you become aware of activity. So this knight and this rook really want to be doing things, right? So a default move should be knight e2, knight d4, okay? That should be the first thing that comes to your head, we can think about other things, you know, but we need to think about something. We can't just be going pop pop. And sometimes in our games, well, we don't find anything. But then after, we want to look. We want to be like, how could I have improved my stuff? Right? So superficial. And what just happened was you lost the tempo. And now he's going to try to, he's going to try to talk to you a little bit. Okay, now rook f1. Maybe. The drama with this move that I really want you to see is it might be okay. I like that it's activating your bishop on h3, but we are going to be activating the bishop on d7. That doesn't look right to me. Okay. So, let's talk about the obvious. There's a big storm coming down, and black's got to deal with it somehow. I think the easiest would be, let's trade off your good piece, and then let's get out of dodge, boss. Probably should have done that before even a5. So totally weird. And now f5 looks crushing. Yeah, what are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? Can't be playing chess like that. Absolutely crushing. So queen h4, and probably you missed that move, right? And he offers a draw. Now, boss, clearly you accepted this draw in fear. But we got to put some variations on the page about what we think is next, right? Or what we think the eval is here. I couldn't tell you just like by looking at it. It's a hard one to say. One problem black has is I'm not even sure what is next for black, What move is next? I think the move for us to consider is f5. Right? That looks like a hell of a drug, my friend. Yeah, now let's talk about ef6. In general, a good rule of thumb is don't take the pinned piece. There's all kinds of pinned pieces, and in general, you never want to take them. Okay? So, pawn's pinned, it's not going anywhere. Let's increase the party. And here's a fun variation. ef5, bishop f5. How can he defend f6, rook f8? But then I go, bam! He goes, bam! And I go, Zwischenschach, baby. There's a Dutch word for you. It's a German word, but you guys probably have something similar, right? And Zwischenschach, bam, bam. So yeah, you gotta look. You gotta look, Luciek. You got these things in your game. This is the heart of chess improvement. Going over your games right here. Now, Abdul, it was queen g6. That was my move. I don't know if I was bluffing at the time. I honestly thought it was a good move. But she came up with h4. And that was like, holy moly, I got a little grief. Okay. I'll show that game to you guys after I analyze it. So. Now we got Tehurunga. Let's go. Trying to get better. Went to the wrong cohort. Unless we got something. Yeah. So, I think they just got here. Let's look. No, they've been doing some stuff. But it seems like they shouldn't be here yet, right? Not quite there yet. All right. So, Mudla. Oh, this is a fun graduation. Mudla's been with us for a long time. And so it's really cool to see some progress from Mudla here. All right, so let's read. It looks like there is a fair overlap with the material in the 1000, 1100, and 11, 1200. This is the whole, obviously we're beginning to read a rationalization about ratings and where they should be and yada yada. Finally, chess rating is provisional, but I want to keep pushing myself to play against and learn from better players. During my time in this cohort, I have tried to continually work on my tactics. This past week, I got my first ever trophy, nice, in an OTB tournament. I won 3 out of 4 games. I'm not posting this out of ego, but to point out that the time spent doing the dojo work has started to pay off. I'm starting to see some of the chess knowledge translated into skill. Nice. As an adult learner, it has been demoralizing for me to keep losing OTB to underrated scholastic kids with coaches. Well, word, boss, word. This past tournament, I felt that I blundered less, thought longer, and saw tactics better over the board. Tried to decrease the frequency of blitzing. Nice. Basic endgame algorithms, it's all there. Yeah. Oh, dude, this paid off in a recent game. I had Chess Dad in the 4th round of the Dojo Classical. We're going to look at that if it's here. I also attribute my improvement to being able to play online against so much stronger players. Cool. Chess Dad has a cool Elite Chess blog about his own chess improvement. So that might be a fun game to look at if we're there. Now look, he's totally legitimate in that cohort. And then USCF, he's struggling. Yeah. Okay, but this is legit over here with Elite Chess. All right, let's look at first activity. We'll go back 1. Some good work. Tactics here. Couple mates in 2, 5, 10. Okay. Yeah, good. And then the end game. Good. All right. And then we got this bad boy. Good. That's all looking great. What's a non-dojo shame over here? Oh, that's not so bad. Not so bad. Okay. So now we're gonna go games. There's Chess Dad. Let's look at this game. 83 moves. All right. I love this variation for black. This is what I advocated in the dojo repertoire for black. We have one for the Caro, one for the French. This one's really easy to understand for black. Okay. And this is definitely passive. Bishop d6 is correct. Notice with bishop e7, it's not just that the bishop would be doing more stuff on this diagonal, but that later the bishop's going to need to be out of the way of the rook because the e-file is going to be contested. Okay, so this is an example of a developing move that's actually going to lose time because you're going to have to move the bishop again. F5. Well, that's curious. Maybe I'll just explain the basis of this opening. The cool thing about what black has going on is because they got that extra pawn in front of their king, it's very useful as a defender. It'll make it difficult for white to attack. So a more standard variation here is bishop d6, bishop d3, castles, queen c2, and wait for it, h5, baby. And it looks ridiculous, but the point is actually very elegant that now the pawn, it's hard to win the pawn, first of all, but the pawn can work as a wrecking ball against the king. Okay, I talk a little bit about that in the file in the video that we did. Now, we got to have a note as to why what's going on bishop takes f5, Bobs. Because to me it looks like a rich pawn. And as I've said, the pawn wasn't some complete chump. The pawn was going to do something there for the black king. I think you can still take that pawn. Okay. Good. By the way, what's the problem with bishop g5? He's not developing, in addition to hanging the pawn. By the way, what is it also, and we talked about that, he's playing with his pretty pieces here where he plays bishop g5. He isn't solving these people. Those people need solving. What is he doing? He has just developed the rook on c1. Okay, now we need a good move. Boom. I'm mostly okay with that move, rook c2. Good move. And now I want you to do something with your knight. No. I wasn't sure if this was the right move, but I know that in an opening course I'd looked at. Sorry, Jesse. The pawns on c4 and d4 control more space. This is exactly what I'm saying. No, boss. No. Again, another dojo member foiled by the internet and all of the opening talk. Okay, so what is the issue here? You won your pawn. Okay, you're doing great, but you have a couple pieces that need help, right? So the first thing I said is do something with your knight. You gotta do something with your knight. Then we gotta fix the rook, and there's a couple ways of doing it, but we gotta fix those pieces. We can't be doing fancy bizzles while our pieces are still ridiculous, okay? So a standard plan could be, let's put knight g3, and then we don't know what black's going to do. For example, if they play c5, then we'll say, oh, you just created a passed pawn for me. Thank you very much. And then if they don't, I don't know what they're going to do, and we can either challenge the e-file this way or challenge the e-file that way, right? Doing great. Okay, so misled by abstract considerations of a memory in a course when, hey, no, our pieces need fixing. Poor move. Why is black doing that? No one knows. Okay. By the way, rook d2 is also kind of interesting to line this bad boy up here. Ooh, that's bad. Okay, this is a horrendous move because you just pinned yourself, right? So what is correct? Knight c3. Yeah, now we're gonna have to suffer a little bit. Queen h4, queen g3, and then black blunders with queen g3. Okay, let's talk about it. White has just put themselves in a really tough spot because it's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard for white to untangle themselves. So all of a sudden, white has chances to win this game. Black has chances, excuse me. What does black need to be thinking about doing? Fixing the knight. Black must fix the knight, okay? So, queen h4 looks plausible to me. Knight f6 is another move. But then here, definitely not trading those queens. The first thing to look at would be like queen h5, threatening something. Let's say they play queen f3. Do we care about the double pawns? No, we're not letting him out. It's funny, actually. Black's position is so awesome now that maybe we could take as well because we might be able to claim that this is too powerful. Because no, we don't even think about it. We're not interested in trading the queens. No trade for you, buddy. Rook d2. Bang, we're coming in. You know, we're coming in one of these pieces. Our pieces are more active. We are going to waste this fool. Okay, so poor move. Now we want you to play f3, I think. Or just rook e1. Rook cc1. Good move. Good move. So black allowed you all this time to break the pin. Rook e1. Nice. Now you are the one pinning. Thank you very much. Good. looks superficial. And now 94. No, you missed this one. Bam, bam. Bam, bam. Well, you got it eventually. Thank you very much. Got to be a good move. Unnecessary. Give the man a check or play king d3. Those are the two moves you're going to be looking at. That pawn move is, again, nothing, there's no point. Good. 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 Easy. Thank you. Now, some people would resign here. That was weak sauce, buddy. What are you doing? Why are you giving up my pieces? You don't need to be giving up all my pieces. Play b4. Here, 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 here. And as long as you don't say taste these nuts at this point, they'll usually resign. You know, they'll usually resign. Yeah. Is Tussenschach upskirt, is that Dutch for Sissenschach? Is that what it is too? That would be something I'd add to my daily vocabulary if it is. Okay, my friends, I'm going to take a quick break. I got this little mouth ailment, dude. But I'm going to deal with that, and I'll be back in 5 minutes. All right. Where's my beautiful thing over here? All right, my friends, we are back. I was Moodlaw, graduating, playing a nice game against the famous Chess Dad 1979. You can check out his blog. Also graduated, I think, twice recently. You know, so that's cool. Okay, now we got Blib Up going on here, graduating several times. How come I haven't followed this person before? They have done quite a bit to get here. Loads of endgame work. Beautiful. Always warms my heart when I see someone doing the mates in two. Huh? Always warms my heart. All right. Tussenschach. This is Blib Up. Takatucky. Takatucky, all right. This was played in December. Let's take a look at Takatucky. All right, you're doing fine. All right, you know I'm going to yell at you for playing a6, right? You knew this already. Giving your opponent some time. There's a number of ways you could develop and not have to worry about knight b5. Bishop b4, just play bishop d6 anyway. If they play knight b5 and take, they will be giving you a tempo because they'll be developing their knight twice. Good move. So you're in this situation because of the loss of time. Move. Now that's an example of a move I have total respect for, moving the bell piece twice, because here we need to unmask I was going to call him a god. He kind of is a god though. Leave him alone. Okay. I don't know what c3 does. Okay. So knight f6, I'm not a huge fan of. What do I want you to do? I want you to fix this person. Boom and boom. It might even be more clever to play b5. It's a little bit more frisky. But either way, we must get the bishop out. Ooh, that's actually a good move. That's a good move. Now, I don't know your opponent. They're playing Smyslov level over here. But the point is that your queen was the best defender of these weak dark squares over here. Excuse me. And now you're going to be defenseless if you trade them off. All right, so you get fancy with knight d5. And definitely it's a very big advantage for white, excuse me, if queen c7. Your opponent, I'm going to call this a blunder, positional blunder, plays bishop d5. If you're watching this, ask yourself, why is it a positional blunder? Right? And the reason is because you're freeing this bishop right here. So bishop d5, boom, boom, boom. Good move. If he had corrected the castle or taken the other way, we would have yelled at him. Now, though, the bishop is free. d8. I don't really know what rook d8 does. The basic plan could be to play b6 or rook b8 and then move the bishop. And then here, this is the criminal move. It's your only good piece, the knight, buddy. Ah! Okay, so now we got ourselves a rook endgame. Okay, this is a position that I can guarantee you is very hard to play. It's very rich, and it's a perfect opportunity for us to really think about what the possible plans are. Also, really interesting question just to reflect on who do we think is better here. If we give white a lot of time, you know, they're going to bring their king up. They're going to push pawn f5, put their king here or something. And it's going to be one of the key things to understand for us is in the coming endgame, our king might not be active, right? So I think there's two moves that I would consider here for black. One is d4, that's my intuitive preference, because if they take, then we will get our rook open. And the other move would be just king f8, with the notion that, bro, we're gonna have to do that move anyway. A fancy move, I don't know how I feel about it yet, but a fancy move might be f5, intending king f7, e6. I like it less. But there you see black is interested in the king activity. Okay. b5 it's not clear what it does. So let me stress, in an endgame like this, what you can learn, especially in studying your own games, is that there's three pieces here. King, two rooks. Each side has three. So there's three actors, and who's going to have the advantage is who will be more active. Okay? So b5 is not clear how we're getting either three of those actors to be more active. Right? Okay. I like king f2 or f5 better. Okay. That, in some ways, was to white's advantage, because now d4 won't come with the opening of the c file. Poor move, loss of time. So what should white play? Well, probably g4. And then this idea is very clear. We want activity. We want to get those pawns on e5 and f5. Okay, so loss of time. So one of the things to see, right, it's not just loss of time in the opening, it extends the endgame. Poor move. Now h5, we totally shut those pawns down. Maybe you can do this. Maybe you can. Oh, it scares me though, man. It scares me. Okay, maybe this is genius. The guy plays rook e1. Now, one reason that I'm suspicious of a move like g5 is, in general, what we'll say is the king side is white side of the board. The queen side and the central d4 push is black side of the board. So we ideally don't want to play on white's strong side because white has more stuff over there, more dynamic potential. And so it's not clear how much we're helping here with g5. Holy moly, f5. Okay, so now you are the one who created a crisis, my friend. You're the one who started this drama over here. So for sure, the other move to consider was gf. King f, and then d4. And then I think you're fine. You know, you're doing okay. Can you give a long variation? Let's take a look. The easy thing to see here, though, is that's a hell of a drug, isn't it? You gotta go back. Well, maybe it's not such a hell of a drug, but I mean, at the minimum, he's got that. And then if rook e6, we're just winning another pawn, right? Okay, so that was already clear advantage for white, maybe winning. This might also be very unpleasant. Good move. That's a bad move. Got to at least try king f7. Let's look at king f7 for a second. I don't understand c4. I think the variation would go d4. Now this is hectic for me as well. Maybe king e2, but on pawn takes we have the interesting choice of pawn takes and even rook takes. With the notion that if takes here, we want to play here, and we're hoping for, I don't know, we're hoping for some kind of c pawn push. It's not too much. So let me go back to the original intuition. Takes. King e2 is forced. d3, king d2, rook d4, rook here, rook here. And here you have some chances to hold this thing down. No promises, but you have some chances. And in fact, on the natural king d3, we are threatening rook b2, by the way. So on the natural king d3, maybe we can play rook a4. Maybe unnecessary. Let's just look at it for a second. Oh, it's going to be close. I think we lose it by one tempo. Let's check here. No, Kraai. Wait. We go here. And so if here, I save my soul. So they got to go here. Here, and I save my soul. So that's an example of a rook endgame there. Okay. VBAM, I'm glad you're here. By the way, like when I do this by myself, I go slower, and yes, it starts off with this whole thing of long variations, but you want to try to make it then succinct. You don't want a whole variation tree, right? You want to be like, these are the main variations. Okay. So that's definitely a mistake because we don't want to let that in with check. Now we're probably toast. And rook a3 looks like a horrible move. Yes, it's a horrible move. What's the correct move? King e2. Got to get the king back to blockade the pawn. And Now rook a3. Well, my friends, what about d3? What about d3, bows? That's why you push them. That's why they say run, Forrest, run. You know, that's why they say the things they say. That pawn is gone. The pawn is gone. It's absolutely gone. It's running. Because I'm rolling. They're hating. I don't even think white can... No, I don't think you can save it anymore. No, it's gone. So we got to note these. Now we're just blundering time. Now white's blundering time too. This is just... People just... Oh, no one knows. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, there it is. No, my friends, the rook endgames can be improved. In general, I will say this. You know, we don't ask you to do rook endgames until later. And one of the reasons is it's kind of like its own special art form. And so if you don't get it yet, don't freak out too much. It'll come again. But the way to learn it is, yes, there's all kinds of material. We have the dojo and stuff. But by going over these games, by finding, for example, the d3 move, you know, we had the d3 move there with the pawn. Was it that one? Yeah, that pawn's gone, buddy. Welcome to the dojo. Welcome to the dojo. All right, here we go. Next up, we got Alpha Juliet. And Alpha Juliet's just crushing it over here, but they're in the wrong cohort. No, they're in the wrong grade. Sometimes people graduate prematurely. It looks like a premature graduation. Okay. Now we got D Creech. Sounds like a... I don't know. That guy's rating's going straight up, though. Bang. Been at the dojo a couple days. Already gaining. Okay. D Creech, let's see how they got here. Basically, they just joined the dojo, you know, and had a couple good results. All right. Let's see what they're doing. A little bit of everything here. They've done some program mates and twos. All right, look at some games. This is D Creech against Continental Vinny. Okay. Now let me just say, it might be offbeat, but you are playing principled moves here. That's, I think, for where you're at right now, the most important thing. Now you're back in what we call a Rubinstein French, if you want to get fancy about it. Okay, go ahead. C3, maybe. Maybe. You could just castle too. Black should probably take there. Oh, bad move. Okay, so again, notice what you're... Let's think about this. You want to play bishop e3. Really, first of all, we know you're going to castle. Then, in order to avoid bishop, excuse me, in order to, I'm flipping all over the place, you want to play bishop e3, and then to avoid knight g4, you're willing to cost a tempo. And black playing knight g4 would cost him a tempo, right? So bishop e3, first of all, doesn't have to go there. There's other places it can go. But if you were determined to go there, you should also say, oh, if he plays knight g4, that's also a tempo from him. And they still get this one. The boss, you were so consumed without losing your bishop, and now you're giving it to him. Okay, now black could play knight e3, which is, I think, ein Tussenzug out in Dutch. I'm learning it here. Because I think Tussen means in between. So if Tussen Schach was an in between check, then Tusen Suk might be, an in-between move. So important to see black can still play here because the bishop would get trapped. Let's just show that briefly. This is not a good in-between move because when you go here, we're going to capture your Bishovsky. Okay. Okay, they're at least bringing their peaceful out. 95. I have some sympathy with this move, 95. It's a little weird, but what I like about it, at least on principle, is you're working against, you're saying, you're calling it the active bishop, great, and you're recognizing that, hey, this thing is terrible. Now, if you want to play knight c4, a simpler way would be to just play bows, knight e2, knight c4, Let's go there. But this is fancy, and black in turn also gets fancy with this, this, and this. And I like a lot your variation here. Now, the thing that I'd really like to stress about your variation, let's look at its variation. There's a choice here. Do we want to do this, or do we want to play here so that this doesn't come with check? First things first, it's important to just admit to yourself that when you played 95 that you missed that continuation. Okay? Right? It still doesn't mean 95 is a bad, might still be a good move, but you got to be like, oh, I missed this whole thing with c4. Okay. Now, the key thing I want you to realize is it's not so much about losing the pawn on e3 and then e5. It's about not letting the bishop out. So what's happening? When he takes and takes, and then this pawn can move. Right? So your variation is obviously a little scary at first, but once you see that like there's no g6, then you like for sure you say, all right, this is the one. Now the variation isn't over yet. It might go like this: Queen c7. Why? Because I got to get my bishop out. Let's put that there for a second. b6. And now we need a plan, obviously. Yeah, but in general, I kind of like your position. I also would want to look at a different move here. I think rook d4 is maybe more clever. That way, let's say if queen c7, again, I don't know how you're going to get the bishop out. Queen c7. I will consider, I'm not sure I'm going to do it yet, but I will consider that move. Right? Okay, so here we go. Black seems like he's okay now. You still have the more active pieces. Good move. So they're concerned about rook d7, but they should just realize that, hey, Bobs, that rook isn't doing nothing down there. So bishop a6, what a weird spot. So black blundered a pawn. And then we got a puzzle rush tactic here with queen c2. So in the notes, very important to say like, okay, what's going on? And now that you got that pawn back, your position isn't necessarily that bad. Let's say queen h5. I don't know. At first blush, I don't know who's better. I'd like to believe in black just because their bishop looks better, but still, it's not going to be easy for black to actually do stuff. Because you have control of the d file. Yeah, Continental Vinny found this here. Bang. Ah, now we're toast. Let's see. Rook d1, that wasn't it. Yeah. So let's stress that if you had played b3 followed by c4, you have some practical chances. And now we are gone. Okay, yeah. That was a great game, Decreach. That was really good, too. And hopefully some of the things I noted are helpful. Okay. So let's go back. View all. So, Decreach ARD is graduating again, dude? Dang. Watched a lot, played games. Okay. Dude, ARD, man, every week. Every week. And he's there, 1444. Maybe also looks like a Dutch dude. Lapsvans Producties. You know, I don't know. I'm guessing it's Dutch. Let's see. So, we go back. And dude is just flying up, really. Just totally flying up. Let's see if we got some games. This is the famous ARD. This was played fairly recently. Uh-oh. Just pasted. Annotation comes later. Well, we'll do a different one then. Okay. Well, knight a5 is fine. Oh, okay. That was, by the way, you're doing fine here. This is like theory from a gazillion years ago, you know? Queen f3. Now, this is very important. I think this is not correct by white. And this is a moment where we should be thinking about what to do. Okay. Now, in some ways, this is a case of like theory, in the sense that people from 1890 have been we're looking at this position as well, because this has been topical for a very long time. Let's actually, before we get into the nitty gritty of this variation, let us say that the point of black's compensation is central control and better pieces, and the knight's funny on g5. So, for example, both Steinitz and Fischer and then Short played this amazing knight h3 move, allowing this capture. That's an interesting variation. Clearly black has compensation there. Then the major variation is this one, right? All kinds of moves for black. Maybe white is a touch better, but probably it's just compensation. Okay. So then the question becomes what to do against queen f3. Let's talk about candidate moves. e4, h6, queen c7. Maybe even your move. Your move has some point to it too. In any case, let's just trust your move for a second. Good, you're just being active. Bishop c5 was also a move. Superficial. Let's say the obvious. The dude is not paying attention. Dude spent a lot of time maybe learning the tricks of this opening. Maybe even queen f3 is a move somewhere by some random dude. But then they got here, and it's like they didn't know how to play chess, dude. He's got to be bringing on his stuff. He's not. Thank you very much. And that's what happens when you don't develop your pieces. Welcome to the dojo. Okay, now this happens to you. Okay, bummer. And you go all the way back. Now, let's take a moment and we're going to say the obvious. If you just castle, you're doing amazing, right? You're doing amazing. This guy doesn't have anything. I think this is the kind of position I would say, I just want to be black. Computer probably just says it's winning for black because the development is so massive here. Okay, so this happens. I think we should consider bishop c7. Okay, queen d8. Good. c5, baby. All right, all right. Queen f5. Queen h4, that's fun. And now you did bishop c8. I definitely think we should play c4. Look at that, you're killing this guy. You're killing this guy. Right? It's not clear, for example, when you push the queen around, that the bishop was somehow worse on b7 than it is on c8. But b7 is a beautiful piece. This guy's just moving the queen all around, not respecting time. Okay, violence. Good. We're to the point here. We're to the point. Again, developing a piece twice. Good move. Did I miss something? Well, I guess, dude. Thank you for all your coconuts. Again, no one knows what the knight's doing there. Good. Fine. Fine. Good. Fine. Good move. Good move, dude. You're killing this guy. Ah, that's a good one. There we go, buddy. That wasn't it. Check. Welcome to the dojo. Okay. So ARD, man, is moving fast. Let's just go look briefly at ARD. The guy has been, we'll look at it, dude. He's been cooking. Began the dojo quite recently and has gained 279 points. We're giving you the big boy stuff today. Abdul says knight h4 is legal at least. You know. Okay. Let's go. I love that picture of hair apparent. Okay. Next up, we got Loonbos. Boom. Okay, Twitch TV Loonbos. Okay, South Africa. Let's follow Loonbos. 1538, beautiful graph. It'd be cool if we got a South African rating system. I'll tell you, when we do have South African news, the famous Jessie February is now somewhere in the program. I don't know which cohort she's in yet, but she's in there. And so actually, let's go stalk her. I think because she's Jessie Feb or something like that. Let's go see. Jessie, Jessie Feb, there she is, dude, 1819. With her model hair going on and stuff, dude. Okay. So has she done anything yet? No. Oh, Jessie Feb, come on. Come on. Let's go. Back to the Loonbos. Check out the activity. How did they get here? Some pretty good work. What was their non-dojo? Chess, was it one-on-one lessons? Okay, good. Games analysis, tactics, middle game strategy. Oh, fine. Okay. Okay, let's see if we got a game. No. Lumbos. Dude, put it in. Put it in. You know? It's kind of weird. You got the 700 rapid rating, but then what's going on over here, man? You're bigger than 700. You're huge, Bows. You're huge. I think he means 1700. That's what he means. That's what he means. Okay, Lumbos. Let's see some games soon, man. Nice quad XC. Get her moving. Get her moving. Let's go, Jesse Feb. People need to see you doing some stuff. All right. Jay Grassi. Simple Chess is the greatest chess book of all time. I like the book a lot. There's just a quick anecdote I want to say. There was, so I grew up on a lot of Korchnoi games, right? And what I didn't really have too much insight into was the World Championship matches in 74 and 78 with Karpov, Kasparov. And just on Twitter, it got posted this video. I watched only half of it. I'm going to watch the rest later. Really nice video about kind of a deep dive into those World Championship matches, Korchnoi's defection. Beautiful. Anyways, I bring it up because Michael Steen kind of disappeared from the chess scene after he made GM and did Simple Chess, but he's interviewed in there as an older dude because he was one of the seconds for Korchnoi back then, which is kind of cool. So, just a little side note about Michael Steen. Jay Grassi here, USCF. Okay, good. Let's look at the USCF. All right. By the way, in all these rating systems, I just want to say, oh man, this rating change is coming, and we did our rating translator about going on like 2 years. So we are definitely going to update that thing, and I think probably every year we're going to have to update it because, at least for a while, because the FIDE thing is going to shake things up in ways that all the old timers are like, no, Bows, don't do this. Don't wreck the old system. We might have a problem with deflation bots, but don't go crazy with what you're doing. Okay, so here we go. Let's see how they did it. Oh, that's some good work, dude. Look at that. Now, anytime you watch one of these graduation shows, I think what you can see is as you go up the ladder, the more points and the more hours it in general takes to make it to the next level, right? Yep. Okay, let's click around a little bit. Endgame. Nice. Actually, it's mostly endgame and game analysis so far. Good. And then what do they do in non-dojo? Okay, fine. Let's see if we get some games. No. Degrassi, buddy. Get on it, buddy. Come on. Come on. That makes sense, MD Knight. But congratulations, man. And congratulations. MD Knight, are you going to be at Baltimore Open in, 2 weeks or something like that? So, now we got Weak Square, Woodpecker Method, and the Polgar Mates. There it is, Weak Square. Boom. Follow. But MD Knight, you live around here, right? You live around the area. 1602. That's a cool graduation because dude was clearly like, man, I had my tournament, I gained some points, Bows, and I'm going up. I'm going up. Good. Good, dude. Massachusetts? How can you have MD in front of your name and be from Massachusetts? What's going on there, man? Come on. That's my degree. MD Knight, I'm going to see your name again. I'm going to still think it has something to do with Maryland. I'm still going to think so. Maybe that's just because I'm living here now. Just automatically thinking dude, I'm just smelling ravens, dude. Just ravens, ravens. No, Patriots. Hey, might as well move over here, dude. The Patriots are done. It's all over. It's all over. Brady left you, Bows. He left you. Belichick left you. It's done. It's just a cold place now. That's all it is, dude. It's just what is remaining is just a sad, cold place. All the love, all the happiness, all the joy, gone. Gone, MD Knight. You know? And now if you come down here with that name, people would be like, no, he's Maryland, dude. Maryland. No one would know. No one would know, dude. I got to hang out with my boy, David Vigorito, this last weekend. I hadn't seen him in a long time. Really cool with old chess friends. Like, I have some non-chess friends here, but I don't really connect with them in any deep way. And I think a lot of it is, like, me and Vigorito, we played in some tournaments, dude, like, more than 20 years, you know? And it's kind of like when you're through trying times with somebody, a friendship is formed that even if you don't see him all the time, it's like, oh, it's still my friend, you know? Whereas you're just kind of hanging out, doing some weak sauce stuff, you know, it's harder to develop some kind of real friendship, at least speaking for myself. I think that's, I don't know, women make friends real easy, but like for a dude, you know, you need to like go through some pillar of fire or something in order to be friends with somebody. All right, let's look at this weak square. Doing some work. All right, boom. Lots of tactics. Bogar mates, as he said. 1208. No, that's great. That was a rhyme. I didn't even know it. All right, let's see if we got some games. So, this is Mura. And this one looks more like an OTB, so let's click on that. OTB games, good. This is popular these days. Bam! Yep. So they're both strong. He's talking about should he have maybe done this, and then black would have to play here, right? Great position for white, but I'd probably want to just take the pawn where you did, man, because this one is obviously like crispy critters. So pop, pop. Good move. That can't be correct. He should castle. Here, by the way, it's close in the sense that we have a couple problems to solve before we can claim we're fully winning, namely our bishop, right? So, now here I would definitely encourage you not to be thinking about the endgame, because your main advantage in this position is that your king safety is much better than your opponent's. Still, I think d3 can't be too wrong. I play queen e2. Let's ponder for a second. Bishop e3. I'm sure you're afraid of that. If you take that pawn on b7, though, Bows, that's not it for them. So this is their only move. But then you get to play that, and you are going to enter into the black position. So when they played rook f8, that was in a way a bigger mistake than hanging the pawn, because the rook, now the king, there's no way for the king to be happy anymore. And here, definitely queen d7, trying to exchange queens. And, you know, you're down pawn in the endgame, it's bad, but you have a chance. But if you get mated, you don't. You don't have a chance when you get mated. That's the problem. So bishop e3 looks strong here. time. Bishop f4 is very fancy. You have the same idea here, so you didn't need to move. You saw it, so you didn't need to play queen e2. Well, you're a fancy man. Okay. That's very fancy. Now, by the way, you're not playing with the endgame. You're doing it correct. You're trying to mate him. Good. Look how secure your king's side is. Oh, after I gave you so much praise, you do that to me. Yeah. Definitely, I think a move like h4 would be nice. Even calm h3. Queen e4 looks good. The guy can't move, so you just ticky-tacky until his king drops. He can't move. a4, also a nice move. You know, if he trades queens and you don't have the full nuts, it's not over. Okay, this doesn't seem like it's forced for him to take. So let me just ask the obvious question: what else could have done? For example, I don't think you're threatening anything. I.e., if queen f6, ef, we might live. You know, well, we might have a problem there too, actually, with bishop d6. So, just thinking about how maybe to defend this position. It's obviously not pleasant. At the minimum, if he goes queen c3, I think you're going, I don't know what it is you're doing. No, then you have rook e7. Oh, this would actually be a great trick, actually, because on rook, well, the trick might, here's a bunch of tricks. Rook e7, queen e1, rook e7, then we got bishop d6. Welcome to the dojo. Okay, let's look at the game. Pop. Looks superficial. Dang! Dude, your mate, he said, he was like, mate in twos, and I think he said woodpecker, right? Look at this. We're talking about mate in twos. He's seeing them. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Excellent. Good. Good move. Play h4 too. Jack of the miserable king. Dang! Look at this. He's using the Polgar mates again and again and again. Dang, dude. Look at that, man. Was this for real? Wait, I'm confused. F4. Dang. Well, wait, we got to talk about bishop h4. All right. Yeah, I got to talk about bishop h4 here. All right, now it's a question of your technique. Good. 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 Easy chess. Good. Okay, weak square. Well done, my man. Well done. Ali Reza goes down. Dang. I might look at that if I get a chance after this. So we're going to news feed. Boom. And then we got last graduation. As I said at the beginning, we had less this week, which is good. I feel like I had a little bit more time to go over everybody's game in detail. This kalos in Greek means beautiful or well, and Agatos means, you know, the pretty. The beautiful, the good, the pretty. I don't know, man. Let me double check that. Agatos. Greek. Good, yeah. The beautiful and the good, or something like that. My rating jumped from 70-20 to 1850 after a single strong event. 4-0. I defended my 1800 plus rating in 2 subsequent events, and now coming back to chess work in the new year, I think it's time to graduate. Nice. I was pretty stable, around 17 for half a year. So suspecting I was at a true plateau, I decided to commit to the dojo recommendations in July and August. Monthly 5-round 90-30 tournaments at my club, plus playing occasional Monday night. Definitely hard to play after a long day of work. Added up to a lot of games played, more than I ever had time to analyze. I only felt like I finished analyzing a handful of the games. I was proud of the analyzed games I did finish, though. So I hope to finish these more going forward. Polgar, tactics from scratch, and occasional work on some of the other books. Yeah, positional sparring, great. Okay, beautiful. Let me just stress, you got a job and you gain 100 points. Great, man. That is a hard road. He's got some other ones. He looks like he's mostly playing USCF, but that is a great jump, man. That is a really great jump, and more than, look at that, 1749, crushing it. Okay, 1824. Yeah. So yeah, they've gained 100 points. Beautiful. I want to stress at this level, especially if you are at, maybe he was at a plateau, to break out of it, man, that's what it's all about. We were talking this podcast. A lot of times, there's actually somebody, he's slightly higher rated than this Neil Bruce guy, and Neil's always talking like, oh, I'm going to become a master, yada, yada. And so we did a podcast about it because I just want to talk about, like, what should the expectations be? And I don't know how old this particular, how old Carlos is, but Neil's like in his 50s like me, and I'm like, wow, no, you might gain 100 points. And that would be amazing, but 2,200, let's slow it down, Bob. Slow it down. And then everybody, of course, got mad at me. They're like, why are you crushing the man's dreams? Why do you got to be such a hard-ass Kraai? Why don't you ever believe in anybody? No, I believe in Carlos. This is what I believe in. This dude's working at it and made some good improvement, dude. Okay, let's take a look. So this is after they got there. And here, boom. See, what someone say, it always takes a little bit more time. My numbers are through the roof, dude. I think I got like 1,000 hours. I finally had a reasonable tournament too, man. Dying recently. Okay, so we got all this stuff looking good. Let's click around a little bit. Middle games and strategy. Good. Evaluate like a GM. Great book. These are some great books in here. Okay. Got some tactics. Mates in 2, baby. 1140. Nice. Okay, let's see if we get a game. I'd really like to pick one that is a over-the-board game. Okay. So 90 plus 0. Okay. Oh, this is a very fancy line. All right, so let's talk about it. Black has stolen a pawn, whereas white is saying, hey, bows, I got this unopposed dark square bishop, and it's a beast. Yeah, in general, I don't know. Well, okay. And then they're talking about boom and boom. And this is some theory stuff here, I guess. That's pretty spicy. With the point that if they, well, honestly, I don't know if we're done yet. Let's say 97. What is the magic that we're doing here? Now we're gonna play like castles, and the knight is hanging. And then if they go knight f6, I think we then play f3. And we're pushing them from this. And if they go takes, I'm assuming we play, well, f3 looks winning. Okay, so that's like obviously a highfalutin computer move. And you played the natural bishop c3. Wait, let's go back to the main move. I still think you have full compensation here. All right. Good notes. And now let's call this our critical position or whatever you want to call it. Black wants bishop c6. And we would like to say that the knight on a6 owes us, the knight on f6 owes us. And our obvious problem is what's going to happen with our king. Okay, so he did some good analysis here. By the way, you're seeing, we're going up the ladder, the level of analysis goes up. He's got a great sentence here. Maybe I should need to learn to trust the bishops a little more. So right, the key, let's talk about it. Black played queen d6 earlier, and is psychologically a little bit committed to thinking that they got to keep the queens on. We might simply be worse here, by the way. But, you know, there's still like, it's not immediately obvious that that's going to be the case. My biggest problem with queen e3 would be bishop c6. And it just seems like he's doing more than okay. And if queen e4, probably knight e4. Yeah. Now, there might be some more spice to that too, though. So, actually, here's some fun variations. If bishop takes, queen takes, if bishop takes, then maybe we can play knight e5. And let's just pretend that this is forced. Then we take, and then we say compensation, baby, because your business is all tied up. Compensation. And then if they play knight e4, maybe we can play like bishop takes. And at the minimum, they got to worry about that. Like, is the rook in trouble? Maybe, maybe not. There's still some open questions. If I am winning this, or have compensation at least, it's because the knight on a6 still isn't working. It owes me time. So this is a really good analysis. Maybe you should go a little bit further after this queen d3. After this one, here I'm not sure I agree with your assessment. Maybe white is just full compensation, because this is a bad man. That's a very bad man. Okay, so knight d2, frisky. bishop a5. Now this 98, I'll just say it right away, it doesn't look right. Wow. Fascinating position. Now look, black had to have what they often call nuts of steel to play queen takes g2. Yeah, that's a little bit of nuts, as they call them. Because it wasn't the only move. For example, just far more prudent would be queen g6, and then next move we play bishop c6. Right? No problemo. The way black plays it, maybe he's fine. Maybe, but you're giving white a big, why did you give him this chance? Okay, now bishop a5 comes. It'd be interesting to ask if there were any other moves. Maybe there isn't. One bummer for us is this dumb knight is covering the two squares. So normally this would be a game ender, but unfortunately right here it is not. The other bummer is that this knight isn't working for us yet. Now bishop c6 is our issue. Maybe it's a real problem. All right, so this happens. Doesn't look right. And you do some good analysis here. Okay, good. This is a great note. Let's go back and see how we found it. So this is the bishop a5, b6 thing. Now I want to look right now. Now the chump GM. I'll tell you what chump GM wants to do. He just wants to play here, 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 and here. He says white's better. I don't know. I don't know, buddy. Your king is all messed up. I was gonna say, if you're gonna try to live through this, queen g3. But black definitely seems like they've got very good compensation. Either way, I think you have queen f4, you're probably toast just immediately with knight b4 because I got that threat. Then you got queen g3, must be worse, you say. Yeah. Good tactic. Yeah, now, well, we're lost. It's gonzos. Is that right, Kraai? You want to say they're gonzos? Yeah, they're gonzos. It's the pawns, though, and your rooks are going to be chumps. That bishop on f3 is a monster. Yeah. Okay. So, by the way, let me just talk about chess dynamics here for a second. So when a chump GM like myself sees this position, it's obviously scary. I'm playing black and everything. I got two pawns, though. What do I really want to do? I want to give it back. I'm happy to give the exchange. The pawns that I've stolen not only are like, potential, me queening or something, but they're weaknesses in the white position. And white has like a moment here after I give the business back where I have all of my pieces are active. And I think his queen g3 variation is correct. That rook d2 move, exclam. And so if I was black, that would be the only thing I needed to see to play this variation. Because definitely queen f4, boom, that's it. game over, right? Because remember, I got 2 pawns. I'm just down the exchange. I'm only down the exchange. Okay, but this, I really want to commend this analysis. This is how we improve. I'm going to feature this game. Bang. All right. All right, let's continue. 4. So 98. Black has given himself real communication issues. Now they're opening up their kimono. Okay, so interesting position. I don't understand what black is doing. How is the bishop on d7 now going to do something? So we got all these fancy moves like knight b3 and yada yada. Knight e4, but even if I just went bishop c3, am I not just like doing pretty good? All right, so knight b3, knight ec7. Great note. We both believed that this would be too dangerous for black, and now he says he doesn't see anything here. Okay, great note. Knights are good defenders. So that should lead you to be like, what's the evaluation of this position? Right? Or the knight e4 position. Because see, here he's discombobulated himself so much that, you know, he's got some things to worry about. All right. So let me stress that, let's talk about this. The knight b3 is a very fancy looking move, but it only does something if black plays ba. And maybe they could have played ba. But the point is, the knight has no future on b3 anyway. Right? So if we imagine bishop c3, let's put the knight here, I don't know. And then we play the natural knight e4. Well, he can't do it, honestly. He's got to do the other one. So here, I don't know. You know, we're coming in, Bows. We're coming in. We're doing stuff. I have my misgivings a little bit with this too, because I still don't know where the knight's going to go. Knight e4, my misgiving is that I'm maybe allowing bishop c6. Maybe. I want to stress the maybe in that. Even that weird move. Nah, don't do it, Jesse. But something to connect the rooks would also be a thumb. Okay, so yeah, that would be a position to really spend some time on to analyze. Yeah, makes sense. You're in big trouble here. Now, f6 is a little weird to me. Don't they have just like bishop h3? That they probably should have played bishop h3 first. It's your knight, dude. Your knight on b3. He's killing us. Okay. Yeah. Of course, we want to play rook d2. And they're still, completely winning, but that would have been the right move. So, commendations, dude, for everybody, but especially like this quest to get up to the 1800 level, now 1800 USCF. Huge struggle. And as I said in the podcast, dude, to make it from 1800 to 2000, that's difficult, man. That's really difficult. Sombrero's here. Nice. Can I increase my volume? I'll just bring it up here. That's what we got to do. I'll bring it up here. People told me that my volume was okay, so I moved it away so that my hands would be free. But now you tell them I got to bring it back. Boom. All right, my friends, we're going to do a little bit of fun before we get out of here. We're going to load ChessCom. We're going to go watch Tata Steel, baby. Games. And, oh, they're playing tomorrow. What happened? Let's just check out the results here. Boom. I have been analyzing viewer games, but really it's for our site. So I've been analyzing the people who graduated this week. Dude, Anish Giri on top, man. Prague killing it. Okay, Ali Reza finally loses a game. This guy Parham, dude, stinking it up. Danchenko, all these people. And Forrest, okay. It's a tough crowd, dude. It's a tough crowd. Ding, dude. Poor guy. Poor guy. It's rough. It's rough. Let's go check the ratings real quick. 2,700. Boom. Yeah, got some Nepo, dude, falling. I don't think we're going to see Nepo near the top anymore, man. I think that's the thing of the past. Anish. Dumb question. Is Anish even playing in the candidates, dude? I should know that, of course. I'm going to say no. My guess is no. And Prague is killing it. Let's see if I can name them, dude. We got Abasov, Prague. Let's start from the top. Carlson, Caruana, Naka. Ding is not playing. Nepo, Ali Reza, Prague, Abasov, and then who's the other kid I'm missing, man? I'm missing somebody else, dude. Who am I missing? I went on that list, but I've lost my mind. I've lost one more. All right, let's go check that out real quick. So Canada, this is gonna be amazing. My life, I think, will shut down when this candidates tournament happens here. All right, Vedit, dude, is the other one I'm missing. And I was right, dude. There's no Anish. If Anish had this result just like 1 month earlier, boom, he's there by rating. And now he's smoked. Really, dude, yeah. Anish, man, it's hard to imagine him as a title contender. But, yeah, he's doing great right now. Let's go ahead and talk about it. This guy's not going to win. Prague, dark horse. Fabi, let's call it the clear favorite. Ali Reza, second favorite. Also, like, no one understands what happened, dude, to Ali Reza, where he collapsed, dude, from 2,800. But if that kid returns to form, then he and Fabi are just like the same, dude, the same. Yeah, Gukesh and Vidit. All right. So, my friends, that's it. That's it for me. I'll probably be back. I'll be around, my friends. Let's rate some.